The Non-Experts podcast was made possible by KCLC and Lindenwood University.
However, the opinions expressed on this show do not reflect those of the university. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
They have over 180,000 titles to choose from for your smartphone, tablet, or Kindle. That is audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Well, see, on the application, I may have, what's the word I'm looking for? I may have embellished a little bit.
Embellished? How much?
A tad, minuscule amounts, really, just a tad.
Hello, Wade. Congratulations, little one. Today is your birthday.
I was terrified doing the genie, and but I found a lane that pays homage, but it's my own thing, So it's I think people are gonna love it.
I'm Romero.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the non-experts.
We're not therapists.
Or lawyers.
Or firefighters.
We don't have any licenses or degrees.
So join us as we talk about news and pop culture and say whatever we want.
Because we're the non-experts. Come on down, family.
Is that how we're going to start it?
Absolutely.
It's just, we can't afford the rights to it, so...
So. I tried emailing Steve Harvey. He never emailed me back, so true story.
How are you?
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
If I can be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm awful.
Yeah.
I hide my pain with smiles and laughter. So
yeah.
It's okay. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing about the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something else that's very devastating?
Tell me about it.
That will make us feel better. At least you should feel good and sleeping at night knowing that you did not cheat your way into college.
Yeah, I only cheated my way through it. So
yeah, you didn't. I got into it fair and square. But yeah,
yeah. Okay, this is true.
Yeah, apparently a big old scandal about some people paying off some people to take their children's college admissions tests or their ACTs or their SATs to get better scores to get into
UCLA,
Yale,
was
Harvard.
One of them, right?
Yeah,
the big guns.
Yeah,
it's not moral or ethical.
It's not moral or ethical, and that's just you know what I mean. Like if your kid is stupid,
yeah,
but they're getting into like Harvard and Yale and like UCLA, all these places,
it's gonna add up.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like they're not gonna do well enough, or are you gonna pay somebody else to give them the actual degree without them actually earning it? It's just I'm annoyed.
That's what I did. No, I'm kidding. I earned my degree.
You earned it, yeah.
4.5 years of hard work
and
excellence towards the end there. Yeah, well, my thing is, kind of like we're saying, if you're not, and I won't even necessarily say dumb, but dumb,
right?
Because those are really good schools.
Yeah.
So if you're there, it's because you deserve to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can pay somebody off all you want and get the acceptance, but sooner or later, you're gonna, somebody's gonna be onto the fact that,
yeah,
doesn't seem like he should have made it into this.
Well, I mean, it's already been blown wide open that this is a thing. So
right, or like
good luck getting in anywhere.
Yeah,
and that's kind of one of my things about it is like I think the degree and your level of talent and ability speaks volumes more about you than what school you went to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because who cares what school you went to, but if you have the degree and you have the abilities and all that stuff to do it, then who cares?
And then I think Harvard only looks impressive if you're going for certain things.
Right.
Like
law.
If you're going to like a really big medical, like then it kind of, Harvard, Yale, Because it's like, not only did you just get your law or your doctorate, but you got it from Yale.
Right.
You got it from Harvard. So
right.
It's not really worth it.
The two big people that have been kind of front and center with this is Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, which, of course, Lori Loughlin, Fuller House of fame. Her daughter's also a YouTuber, apparently.
Yeah.
I've never heard of her, but...
I just figured that out, like, yesterday.
Yeah. So they're screwed.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Stick to YouTube, kid, because that's the only job you're going to get at this point.
If you don't serve any jail time, Because I think Lori Loughlin and her husband both have bail set at $1 million.
$1 million.
Her husband was arrested, and then she surrendered to the FBI.
Joey, right?
Yeah, who's a fashion designer apparently. Massimo Giannulli, is that his name? Massimo Giannulli. Yeah.
So you didn't have enough money that. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm like, who cares? But
I guess my other thing is with being in decent positions, having money, and having a little bit of a privilege with your money because you're not just some middle class person. You've got a little bit of notoriety. I feel like you could have made other things happen aside from paying
That's
people
what I'm
off
saying,
to take tests.
Like, who cares where your daughter went to college? Like, you can do whatever you want for her.
She could make whatever happen. Yeah. If she really wanted to be YouTube, you could fund her to do YouTube and make it successful, or help her find the proper channels. Right. No pun intended. The proper channels to really make that happen. That was kind of funny.
I mean, yeah, right. Like, you could maybe be a little less. I don't know how to say it. Like, instead of buying her way into college, maybe just buy off some people to follow her YouTube channel.
Right. Buy off some subscribers.
Right. Exactly.
Make some people hit the bell.
Because that happens all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. What's really funny about this, though, is there's an episode of Full House where Lori Loughlin's character and Uncle Jesse have to deal with that same kind of situation where they want their twins to kind of, be known for going, I guess. I don't remember exactly what it was, but what's funny is that Lori Loughlin was the voice of reason for Uncle Jesse, being like, that's not the best thing to do. And I'm like, well,
she's one heck of an actress.
I know.
Because she's reading the script. Like, oh,
right.
Crap.
Right.
I really got to sell this because little did I know.
Right. 15 years from now,
I'll be doing the same thing. She might have gotten that idea from that script.
You know what?
She was reading Uncle Jesse's lines like, you know what?
This is doable.
My kid will be there in a couple of years. Can I have a draft of that script, please? Let me hold that for research purposes.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, she's a cheater.
Oof. Well, I mean, hey, you can't do the crime. You can't do the time. Don't do the crime. They say. So that's unfortunate. Next time, just let your kid take the test, win or lose. It matters that they did it. Let's just be moral about it. Have fun in jail. So, Chris, you're a movie lover.
Yes.
And we've talked about it a billion times before, our love for movies. So, today, the new Avengers Endgame trailer came out. And, of course, like the internet does, a whole bunch of people running rampant and screaming and, whatever. Yeah. First of all, have you ever been one of those people that's just like, oh, my God, a trailer?
It depends on what it is. Like, because I know that a trailer's a trailer, and it's like they're going to mislead you on purpose.
Absolutely.
And, so for me to judge something based off of a trailer, it...
Yeah. I've never understood it, especially like when it comes to comic book movie trailers. People are like running around like, oh, I have to go change my pants now. Oh, that was so amazing.
Yeah, you're like, really?
It's really? Yeah. And we both sat here and watched it together just so, get up to speed on it. It's a decent trailer, but it's just a trailer. And the Russo brothers are directing Avengers Endgame. I don't trust them. I vividly remember last year for the Infinity War trailer, Hulk was shown several times, and all the spots that he was shown in the trailer, you're watching the movie like, oh, this is it. Where is he? Hello, hello. So I don't trust anything in that trailer because I know one of the things I saw is going to end up not actually being in the movie, or there was something that I didn't see. And then boom, because like with the Civil War trailer, they didn't show Spider-Man for several weeks, and then as they got closer to the movie, boom, Spider-Man's in.
Right.
You're like, wait, what? So I'm not gonna put too much stock in the trailer, really, but it made me excited.
Yeah,
I'm definitely excited for it.
It made me feel more excited because kind of after the last one, I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. So I mean, I think it's kind of reignited, excitement for it. So,
and that's the hard thing about. Originally, it was a part 1 and part 2, and then they made it 2 different movies. But that's the hard thing about trying to carry over hype from here's a really big movie We've been waiting 10 years for this. Cut off.
Yeah.
Like just cliffhanger, drop right off the side of the earth.
Yeah.
All right, wait another year. So it's hard to keep up the hype for it, and then you finally see it, and you're like, oh, it's coming. Like, it's literally next month. It comes out in April.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to be a 3-hour movie. Wow. Every bit of 3 hours. Like, they're just not going to cut anything into it. They're not going to ruin it, which I'm a big fan of that type of stuff because I hate when a movie comes out and you can tell that there's stuff that's missing.
Yeah.
Or a director comes out and says, yeah, I had this scene, and you watch it. You're like, oh, this is great. And they're like, yeah, it just didn't fit the movie, or we had to cut it down. So I'm all for a 3-hour movie. I'll sit there and struggle through it. Because usually I go see those movies when they premiere, so it'll be like 11 o'clock at night. Sitting up for 3 hours watching a movie is going to be rough. But anyway, I'm definitely excited. If you haven't watched it, you, the viewer, yes, you, or the listener, I should say, I would definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. You've probably seen it on Twitter or Instagram by
everywhere.
now. It's been trending all day. But I think we got some big things to look forward to.
Yeah.
Other movie news, let's step away from comics onto another Disney property, Aladdin.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to roll the tape, a couple weeks ago, some people were doubting Aladdin, especially my friend Jeannie. And I told everybody, just keep calm. It's going to be fine. My personal opinion, I don't think that they're finished graphically. I think they're not done putting the graphics together and making it as crisp as it can be. And what happened, Chris? I'm listening.
Literally everybody was saying how much better it looks and how excited they are for it. Yeah. I mean, Will Smith himself on Instagram.
Yeah.
He said, what did he say? The finished version of #Aladdin. It is fire. I am hyped. I can't wait for y'all to see it. But for now, here's the full trailer. And then, of course, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just the genie part. It looks really cool. It looks, and I'm glad that they added small snippets of songs in there, so you can kind of get a little preview of what they sound like.
I never had a friend like
me. Yeah, but that one to me, I'm like, oh, it sounds like he's kind of rapping it, which is okay. You know, it's different, so it kind of caught me off guard. And then of course they do Whole New World. I was kind of mad because I heard that Gilbert Gottfried was going to redo Iago's voice. But then I looked at the credits and it's not. It's Alan Tudyk. It's not.
I was a little disappointed. I thought they
that
were
would have been great.
I thought they were going to keep him. His angry voice all the time.
Yeah.
But I just, first of all, you listening to me right now, just write it down. Pull out a little notepad. Romero 1, Internet 0, because I have too much faith in Disney, and I know the way like CGI and things like that works.
Yeah.
When you first see snippets and things like that, you're never going to be impressed. And then when the movie comes out or you see like the trailers building up closer to the release date, everybody always goes, oh. So I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
And people were really freaking out over Genie. And I was like, man, these people are tripping. First of all, it's just a genie.
Yeah.
Second of all, you really think this is the finished product? It's months out from ever coming out.
Yeah.
There's no way they're done editing this thing yet. There's no way they've done all the like retouching they've wanted to do digitally and all of that. You just got to relax. And then, boom.
Yeah.
It's like all over Twitter, all over Instagram. People in group chats, I'm in there like, oh, the Aladdin movie. Ooh. I'm like, I told y'all. I told you. You just got to relax. You got to relax. It looks good.
Well, I think them incorporating scenes of Will Smith not a CGI Will Smith and actually being there kind of helps that too, because it's like you see him CGI and then you see him like in real life, and you know, so I think it
that
helps.
was another one of the things I was telling people. I'm like, man, it's going to be both. You got Will Smith. He's not going to be blue the whole time. They're not going to spend the money to have Will Smith constantly be CGI and blue. Yeah. He's going to be a human version at some points. Boom. Human Will Smith. Boom. Chilling under a tent with Aladdin. Like, oh, I can give you a prince. Yeah. You got to check that trailer out if you haven't already. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think this is the first like Disney remake movie that I was really like, you know what? I may actually go see that in the theater.
Yeah, because Beauty and the Beast, I was like, stop.
Yeah, I was like, who cares?
I think
Cinderella, I was like,
Yeah. I think Mulan is coming. That one I'll go see.
Oh yes, that one I'm really excited.
I'll definitely go see
Mm-hmm.
Mulan because I just really liked Mulan as a kid.
Oh yeah.
I'll definitely. I'll probably check out Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aladdin was just it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
So the idea of them remaking it into more of a live action pace, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
It's got Will Smith, and the actors and actresses involved seem to be,
Mm-hmm.
really talented. So I'll definitely check it out. If you're big into movies and movie trailers, make sure you go check out the new Avengers Endgame trailer and the new Aladdin trailer. Unless you're one of the people that doesn't like trailers. I know a lot of people don't like to watch them because they want to be totally surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And I think moving forward, I think I want to be that way. Because
Yeah.
sometimes, some companies, they put out trailers, and then you get to the movie, and you're like, dude, you put all of this in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe do what you want to do. But I would watch them. They were good. This one's for you,
Oh yes.
the listeners
Mm-hmm.
of the Non-Experts podcast. Audible is offering a free, that's right, FREE, free audiobook download with a 30-day free trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any recommendations for them to look for?
I personally am a big basketball guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and if you are a basketball fan or have any knowledge of the sport, one of the greatest coaches in basketball history is Phil Jackson, and he has a book titled 11 Rings, The Soul of Success, and it is available on audible.com, and it's narrated by Matt Walton. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Like we always talk about, audiobook is kind of a nice middle ground. It takes less time. You don't have to sit down and read it. Just kind of enjoy. Let it be read to you. It's like story time.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to check out. You got any recommendations?
Yeah, I've recently kind of been going through like my personal book library and just kind of trying to find something old that I've read before, but just kind of re-pick back up. And one of them that I have is I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. And yeah, they have Audible audiobook read by Scott Brick, which we kind of talked about. He's kind of like the Meryl Streep of audiobooks.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
All right, to download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/non-experts-podcast. Again, that's audibletrial.com/non-experts-podcast for your free audiobook.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we're going to be a little more serious.
Oh, excited.
It's getting serious in here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, unfortunately, they are releasing, or has it already released?
It's already out, yeah.
It's already released, the documentary Leaving Neverland. It's something myself and Chris talked about after the show a few weeks ago and decided that we wanted to talk about it this week. I personally feel that it's kind of out of line. Whether or not you do believe Michael Jackson touched those kids or didn't touch those kids, either way, I feel like the man is dead. He was never convicted of doing anything. Whether, and not being convicted doesn't necessarily mean innocent. Let me throw that out there, but he was never convicted of anything. None of those accusations amounted to anything while he was here. And now this man is dead, and all of a sudden you want to make a whole, documentary about it. What is your end goal? What is your purpose? That's what bothers me. Because there's nothing that can be done here.
Right. I think for them, their end goal is just to make it be, like, made aware. You know what I mean? Like, this is what happened. I don't think they're really trying to, like, get any sort of justice or retribution from it. But yeah, and, it's kind of like, not that Michael Jackson had a squeaky clean, sort of image, especially towards those later years when he was very eccentric and, like, just very on the news all the time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, I kind of get your point, it's like, well, he's dead. Like,
yeah, I mean, I just don't see what you're
he can't do anything about it now.
And even if you do want to bring awareness to what these boys allegedly went through or whatever, I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't matter and no one cares, but okay, what does that do for me now? These are grown men now, and you're telling me about something that happened when they were little kids, and the man that did it is dead and has been dead for 10 years. So I don't see what really, even if you want to, like, bring some type of awareness to it, do people even really care anymore? These accusations are decades old at this point. And apparently there are people involved that at the time were like, oh no, he didn't do that. And now you're saying, oh, well, he did.
Right.
Well, when he was alive and you had the opportunity, you didn't want to be a part of it. So that kind of bothers me, which that doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen, but that always kind of sits weird with me that when you had the chance, you didn't come out and say something. And then, post-mortem, all of a sudden you're just talking at the top of your lungs and making it be known. So that always makes me feel a little skeptical personally.
And I've kind of noticed a lot of other people, because there was a story about Johnny Depp and like one of his ex-girlfriends trying to, and I hate saying it like this, but kind of piggybacking onto the Me Too movement, and like the ex-girlfriend of Johnny Depp saying like, oh yeah, he beat me and like he was terrible and all that stuff, and literally Johnny Depp was like, I have all of this evidence saying that I didn't do any of that.
Right.
Not only that, but I have evidence that shows that you were the one who was like abusing me and like punching me and that kind of stuff. So, right. And so, whether the Michael Jackson stories are true or not, it almost kind of seems like, people being like, oh, well, now I can, say something because all these, other sexual abuse allegations have, come about because of the Me Too movement.
Yeah. And I think what really has bothered me, and this is not just Michael Jackson, but this is all kind of been happening around the same time. The Michael Jackson thing is just now being brought back up. R. Kelly was the most recent right before that, and right before that we had Bill Cosby. So like you want to really make sure you drive home things that these people did years ago, apparently, right? And I don't even really want to necessarily make it a race thing, but there are some white dudes that have done some stuff, and it's just kind of like you talk about it a little bit and then it goes away. Or like the fact that Elvis was messing with 14-year-old girls when he was in his 20s, like that never, you don't see a whole bunch of like documentaries. Let's go back and talk about that now. Or even when the Me Too movement started, all these white guys that were getting accused of stuff, they lost some jobs.
Yeah, whatever happened to like what happened to like with Louis C.K. Like apparently he got allegations, but I don't see anything with him. He's apparently still doing comedy. He's still on TV.
Exactly. So I think that's what bothers me. And like I said, in most cases, I hate when people do try to turn it into a racial thing. But it doesn't sit right with me that the stories of black entertainers are all over the place. We're making documentaries about it. We're, putting lawsuits in and making sure that it's made a really big deal of.
Right.
But you've got white entertainers, accusations come up, and then they just kind of fall away.
Yeah.
Or there's well-documented things, and nobody makes a big deal out of it. Or, the president of your country, regardless of how you feel about him, love him or hate him, there's allegations of him doing inappropriate things. And it's like, well, sweep it under the rug, make him president anyway.
Yeah.
So that kind of bothers me. I don't really like that.
Bothers me too.
Like I said, the man's been dead for 10 years, Michael Jackson, that is. So why, I never will understand the justification or the purpose.
Right.
Because not only do you have his family that has to deal with this, he has children that have to, deal with this. You're just bringing up a whole bunch of old things that at this point, right or wrong, don't matter. There's nothing that can be done about them. I mean, what are you expecting? Reparations? You want some type of large settlement from the Michael Jackson estate or his family? There's nothing that can be done. So I don't understand it personally.
Are you going to watch the documentary though?
No, I don't think I will. Okay. I don't think I will. I don't care to see it. I think it's in bad taste. So I don't think I'll waste my time. Yeah. Will you?
I don't have HBO, so I can't.
Oh, there we go.
Even if I wanted to, I don't.
I don't even know that I have HBO anymore. Yeah. So that would probably hurt that too. But I don't know. It's up to you. If you guys want to check it out, feel free to let us know what you thought about it or what your opinion on it is, regardless if you've watched it or not. But I think it's a no from us here at the Non-Experts Podcast.
It's a no from me, dog.
Cue Randy Jackson, no relation.
So Florida seems to be hitting a little close to home, depending on, if you've seen this particular motion picture.
Or if you're listening from an insane asylum.
Right.
It always hits close, though.
Sounds like a family member, doesn't it? Do you remember that movie School of Rock with Jack Black?
Yes.
Remember that one?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, it was a group of, private school kids. Their substitute teacher is Jack Black, and he teaches them how to play, well, I think they already know, but he teaches them how to be a rock band. He forms a rock band, and they all love it and all that jazz.
All that rock.
All that rock. That's right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Former child actor from School of Rock arrested 4 times for, ironically, stealing guitars. Joey Gaidos Jr.
It's just too good.
I know. Joey Gaidos Jr., the actor best known for playing young guitarist Zach Mooneyham in School of Rock, is currently facing felony charges for stealing guitars in Florida. The one-time child star, so he, I guess, was only in that one movie, and current Florida resident was captured by police 4 times in the last 5 weeks after allegedly stealing the guitars and an amplifier. He's reportedly facing charges of larceny and grand theft. Authorities say that the star was walking into music stores and asking to test out guitars. He would then walk out with the instrument and then sell it to a pawn shop, reportedly to fuel a confessed drug habit, which that's kind of that was a given.
Shocker.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So some of the guitars that he walked off with that were in the story, there was a blue Epiphone Les Paul Prophecy, which is valued at $800. That's a lot of money. A black Fender Stratocaster, which is $699. And then a Gibson Les Paul Gold Top, which is $1,900 for a guitar.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just totally separate.
Maybe if we went to the School of Rock, we'd appreciate guitars enough to think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But, wow.
Yeah.
Like you said, first of all, the fact that it's the whole premise behind this is to fuel his drug habit, that doesn't shock me whatsoever.
No.
It is Florida. Yeah. Everybody's either a crackhead or a murderer. One of these days, we're going to get listeners from Florida, and they're going to be like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are going to be like, totally, but somebody's going to be like, man, is that really how people think of us?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely do. Mm-hmm. I just, 4 times in 5 days.
5 weeks.
In 5 weeks.
Yeah,
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, like, you're not trying hard enough if you're getting caught that often. Even 4 times in 5 weeks, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting caught almost once a week.
Yeah.
You got to try harder. You got to pick different shops, move around a little bit. Maybe try it in Tallahassee and then Jacksonville and then Miami. Like, move around a little bit. Spread it out. Spread the crime scenes out. You'll be less likely to get caught up. 4 times in 5 weeks. I'm surprised he got that far.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like at a certain, like, after the second week, once I'm coming to get you, Chris, the 3rd time, you're coming with us.
Right.
Like, forever. We're done here.
Right.
I'm not going to keep answering calls about you trying to steal these guitars and sell them. It's ridiculous.
But also, like, if I'm assuming it was the same pawn shop, it could be separate ones, but if the same guy is coming into a pawn shop, and maybe this is how, he was finally, caught. But, same guy, same pawn shop, in 4 times in 5 weeks, bringing in these really high-priced guitars, you gotta be like, I don't know. It's pawn shops always seem kind of shady to me because I don't think the people working them actually care. You know what I mean?
Want the money.
Right? They're just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll take it. Here's receipt. There you go. Bye. So I don't know.
Well, because then I don't even know how that works. Like, say you're the pawn shop owner, right? And Zach comes and brings his guitar and sells it to you. And then I'm the FBI, and I find out that you have the guitar. As far as I know, I just take it from you. End of story. I don't think, like, the money you made off of it, I don't know how that works. You might have been able to keep the money you made off of it, or, whatever, but... Don't know. But I guess if you're the guitar thief, do I take the money and the guitar back from the pawn shop?
I don't know. I've never been desperate enough to sell something to a pawn shop to know any of the logistics.
Also, if you're making this much money out these guitars, like, did you not just stockpile the drugs? Like, were you going through all of that in a matter of a week or two? And you're like, all right, time to sell another guitar.
Have you ever met a drug addict? That's basically their life.
Where's the blow?
It's basically
get a guitar. I need some more blow. Like, jeez.
Basically, like, they don't just keep it. They're like, oh, I'll save that for an occasion. No, it's like they get home. Later. Yeah, exactly.
I'll save this last bump. I'll save it. I can make it last.
Line,
I'll stretch it. I can make it last.
I can make it last.
30 minutes later. Ooh, I need more guitars. Anybody got a guitar?
I need more guitars.
Where's he getting these guitars? Like, how are you? I guess he went to the School of Rock, so he knows.
He knows
his stuff about guitars.
Jack Black taught him all the tricks of the trade.
First of all, Jack Black, this is your fault. We're going to call you Jack Crack because you're the one that got him into the music part that made him think that I could start flipping this for drugs. I think it's Jack Black's fault.
I mean, he was the kid was only in the one movie. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess the fame got to him.
why don't we have an Escaping School of Rock documentary talking about how Jack Black got these kids hooked on drugs? No, I'm kidding. Is that defamation of character? I don't want that on my. Want that on my record. I'm kidding, Jack Black. But I don't. That's first of all, that's just too ironic. Though.
It is.
That's
ironic.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
School of Rock child star sells guitars for drug money. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Like, you couldn't write that headline jokingly trying to make something up. That just falls into place too easily.
Right. It's like saying, like, I don't know, Anne Hathaway arrested for trying to impersonate a princess or something like that.
Like, what? It falls in line too easily.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm impressed. He knew his stuff.
Yeah. He
didn't try to sell some little cheap crap. He knew guitars are worth some money. So
I mean, and clearly in the movie, he knows how to play guitar. So I'm assuming,
he knows some
he was
stuff
a musician.
Life,
yeah. So I mean,
I can't imagine knowing how to play guitars and thinking, man, you know what I could do? Guitars are worth a lot of money. I like crack.
I like crack.
I can get crack money by making a lot of money off of guitars. Yeah. I gotta write this down. That's crazy. Let me crack money for guitars. So you just said, like, I wanted to see go to like garage sales. Like, y'all got any guitars?
You got any guitars? How much?
Those like we pay for old houses. Yeah. He's got makes crack money for old guitars. That's unfortunate though. I hope that young man gets the help he needs as far as his drug habit goes, and keep your guitar safe. Pawn shop owners, stop being sleazy and look out for newer guitars or guitars that are worth a lot of money, because I don't think those people own those. They want drug money, so just be careful. Alrighty, so it is now the time one of us puts on our philosopher's caps and digs deep into the realm of possibility for a great question that really makes you think. Mm-hmm. So in the past, we've done things like conspiracy theories and things we think that technology will eventually replace us in doing, and things we'll look at as being like obsolete or like savage-like. Mm-hmm. So this week, what I have for you, Chris.
Okay.
I would like to know from you.
Yes.
Do you think any part of your personality needs to be improved? And if so, what part and why?
Okay. The short answer, yes. But I think everybody could say that about themselves.
I think if you don't answer yes about this question, you need to do some self-reflecting.
Yeah, right.
You're a bad person.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's something.
Anyway. I wouldn't, and I don't want to sound conceited, but like I don't think there's anything major that I need to work on. I know I need to work on some things, but nothing that really like inhibits like, having like relationships with people or having just interactions, I guess. But I know one thing in particular is sometimes when I care about something, I'll focus more and pay more attention to that than like something else. For instance, like if I was working and, I have a own personal project, I would probably focus more of my time on that than any of the other projects that, I need to work on, and just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's done. Now back to my thing, that kind of thing. That's definitely something I've noticed that could be, firsthand.
I've witnessed it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. Not to say that I shouldn't be proud of what I'm putting forth, but I need to, if it's part of my job, I need to make sure I'm working on everything equally, because that's what they're paying me for.
Right.
Yeah.
I got that. Interesting.
I mean, and another small thing, I guess, is, I care too much about things. Like, I put way too much effort in making sure somebody else is as good at doing something as I could be, but if they're not worth the effort, then,
they're just not.
Right.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. That one kind of hit home for reasons that you may never understand. I can agree. I think I've actually said that about myself before. I think I could list probably like 3. Mm-hmm. I think caring too much for sure, because I think just with different things that it could be, whether you see the potential in somebody to do something, or you feel like you have a better way of doing it and, they're just satisfied with the way they're doing it, or, it can be a lot of things. But you can't force, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't like push its head down and force it to drink it. If it doesn't want to drink, it's not going to drink.
Right.
So I definitely have experienced the caring too much So I've taken more of a backseat approach to that. I'm like, hey, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think I also, one thing that I would like to work on, I think sometimes I can be very mean. And, you know, sometimes mean can be funny, but sometimes mean can be hurtful. And I don't think I'm very often hurtful mean, but maybe like mean in the sense of sometimes I'm not as compassionate as I should be. Or sometimes I'm like, well, I mean, you screwed up. It is what it is, you know, instead of being like, well, you know. So trying to find that line of telling you how it is, but also trying to make you feel comforted with it instead of just being like, well, I mean, yeah, you were wrong. And I mean, okay, oh, well, you know, like trying to find that balance of, well, I mean, it's okay.
Right, yeah.
But so I need to find that balance.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I've never felt personally victimized by reverse Starks.
I try not to. But I have definitely had some victims in my day that I was like, was I really that harsh? Like, I've made some people cry before, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't think I was that mean. Like, why are you crying right now? All I said was, and maybe it's more so my delivery. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it is mostly. I think sometimes, with everybody.
Yeah, delivery gets misconstrued and it comes off stronger than you intended, or you know. And last but not least, communication. I think I can be very shut off, especially like if you were to make me upset, Chris.
Right.
And I would sometimes, rather than, especially depending on what it is, I'd rather just stop talking. And I might not ever express to you why it is that you pissed me off, or what it is that I feel like you did wrong, or why I feel that you wronged me. I'll just say, okay.
Yeah, I've done that.
And I'll just keep it to myself, and I'll keep it sucked up. And you'll see me again and be like, hey, and I'll be like, hey. You're like, what's going on? Nothing. Like, what did I do to him?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I think those are probably my three biggest things. Or like, I'm just not a very like. I have to do a better job of reaching out to other people.
Right.
Like, you know, people will call you, hey, how are you doing? But I have to make myself be better at saying, no, how are you?
Yeah.
And I think part of that being like an only child growing up, I was used to being alone, you know.
Right.
I had cousins and stuff like that, but I was used to being by myself. So I'm not worried about like keeping tabs on what other people are doing or making sure that somebody's with me or things like that, or that I take people with me to do stuff. So it doesn't bother me to like not hear from people or, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah. I feel like those are some things I can work on.
I mean, at least we can recognize it in ourselves, you know. Yeah. And like it would have been totally different if I asked you, what are some things you think I need to work on, you know. Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, unless you got any to throw out there for me. Can of worms.
I was having a conversation with some friends a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying like that type of conversation can be very tricky. Or if it's you know, like we've all had friends do that stupid game of that, like, oh, tell me something you don't like about me. I think those are dumb games, because all it takes is, like, say if you're really self-conscious of Chris has a really big chin, which you don't have a big chin, but like say you were really self-conscious about that, right? You're like, what's something about me you don't like? And I'm like, oh, dude, your chin is humongous. Like, it bothers me. And if that's something you're genuinely insecure about, I'm going to hurt your feelings. So it turned from being this little innocent, fun thing to like, ow, that was really personal, and that hit the nail on the head of one of my biggest insecurities, you know? So I feel like those type of things, you just stay away from.
Destroys relationships.
Yeah, because and like unknowingly, because you're thinking like, oh, this is just a little fun. No, because that can go south really quickly and like completely unintentionally. Like I said, all it takes is for you to like point out something that somebody's really insecure about, whether you had any idea or not, and ooh, it can get ugly. Yeah. You know, or people get super emotional and you're like, whoa, you asked me a question. Yeah. And you had no idea that like you just opened up a bad, like, Yep. I don't know. I think what you need to work on is right. And then I think that with stuff like that, I feel like it's not your business. Yeah. I don't care if you think I need to work on it or not. Right. Yeah. Just stick my tongue out and put my hands over my ears. Whatever.
That was a good question. I like that one. That's good.
This is some deep questions that you find. We need some guests on here so we can pull out some of the really big guns and put them on the spot. Like, right. Do you think humanity is doomed from the outset, or can things improve? Like, I don't know.
I thought this was lighthearted.
I thought this was kind of fun. And
I thought we were talking about Kim Kardashian.
No. We saved the last like 5-10 minutes for getting like deep.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need another guest spot and just throw them like a really hard question and just sit back and say, yeah, it's all you.
There you go. Enjoy.
Can I leave now? I don't know what to say. And anyhow, that's all we got this week.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, and thank you, Chris.
Oh, no, thank you, Romero.
This is quite the hosting tandem.
Oh, yeah.
I think that you guys need to subscribe and hit the bell and pay us money. You don't have to do it under the table like for college entrance exams or anything that. You can just hand it to us.
Right.
There's nothing dirty about it. We have Apple Pay, Cash App, Venmo. I like cash in my hand as well. So make it happen. Patreon.com/ Coming soon. It's been a running joke. It's going to be a thing.